Hey Pile 1, welcome to your reading. So today we are going to be taking a look at what is happening next in life for you. So I'm going to keep this pretty open-ended. We'll just see what comes through, what Spirit wants you to know about what's about to transpire next in your life. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this. And also very quickly, I did want to just mention that if you are interested, I am currently offering $5 personal readings via email. So if you're interested, the information for that will be in the description box below. So let's go ahead and get into this for you, my pile number ones. For my pile number ones, please Spirit, my pile 1 viewers, what is next in life for my pile ones? So we have the 6 of Swords, the 10 of Cups. What is next in life for my pile 1, Spirit? What is next in life? We have the 4 of Pentacles. What is next in life? We have the King of Cups. Okay, there's definitely a transition happening here for you, my pile ones. I feel like you're headed into a more peaceful time. We have the Star. You're headed towards a more peaceful time in your life, a more emotionally fulfilling time in your life. Let's see. What is next in life for my pile ones? We have Temperance. So the Star, excuse me, the Star and Temperance here indicate healing. Okay, and with the 6 of Swords, that is a card of transitioning from a tumultuous time period, possibly even a painful one. We have the 3 of Wands and the Page of Swords. Okay, bottom of the deck, we have the King of Pentacles. So there's definitely, like I said, a big emphasis here on transitioning from a time period that was either very tumultuous, very difficult. I'm hearing very jarring for some of you, potentially even painful. Okay, I see that you're moving forward towards a time of peace and a time of stability and emotional happiness and fulfillment, and also healing. Healing is a big thing happening for you next. And when I say healing, I feel like this is more so you just enjoying your life more, okay? Not necessarily, you know, being in hermit mode and reflecting, although that is a big part of that. I feel like for some of you, maybe you've already been doing that, kind of like reflecting and going within. I feel like what's next for you is getting back out there, getting back out into the world, doing the things that make you happy, that bring you a lot of fulfillment. I feel like with the 4 of Pentacles, a lot of you could have been, you know, very like closed off or, you know, quite literally in hermit mode, you know, keeping to yourself and trying to, I guess, just reflect and do the internal work so that you can move forward. And I feel like what's next for you is emotional fulfillment and peace and happiness and contentment and doing the things that bring you joy, that bring you happiness. Some of you could even be like learning something new with the Page of Swords, something that maybe you've always wanted to learn. It could be like a hobby or a new skill, maybe even going back to school for some of you here. But with the King of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, I feel like you're going to be in a pretty like stable place emotionally, mentally, possibly even monetarily. Okay, the King of Pentacles is a card of like abundance, you know, so I feel like that's where you're headed here. Knight of Swords underneath that, taking action towards the thing that can lead you to the abundance that you're wanting or looking for here. Okay, but you're definitely like leveling up in the best way possible, pile 1. Let's dig a little bit deeper. think we're going to use another tarot deck. Spirit, can you please clarify the Six of Swords? We have the Eight of Swords. So yeah, the Eight of Swords is all about like feeling trapped inside your head, inside your mind, feeling unable to move or make progress. Okay, so I definitely feel like, especially as it relates to your mental space, you're going to be kind of getting out of a fog or getting out of a funk here. So that you can, you know, take the action that you need to take or that you want to take in your life and pursue the things that you want to pursue. The Eight of Swords can be like a card of like analysis paralysis. So, you know, especially if there is something that you're wanting to pursue or something that you want to do, but maybe you just haven't been able to bite the bullet because of like, you know, fears or whatever it is that you're experiencing mentally, you're moving past that. Okay, so there is like healing in your mental space. You are moving towards a more peaceful place in regards to your mind. Spirit, can you clarify the Ten of Cups? We have the Lovers. Beautiful energy here. This is about you choosing your happiness. For some of you, this could be literally about a relationship, whether you're single or you're currently in a relationship. If you're single, you know, this could indicate that you are coming into union with a counterpart here. Or if you are already in a relationship, this can indicate, you know, more pleasant times, happier times in your relationship. But if you're like, if you don't resonate with either of those energies, this could just be you, you know, pursuing the things that bring you a lot of joy, the things that you love. It's just like you're choosing your happiness, essentially. And you're not letting any fears or negative self-talk or doubts get in the way of you going after your happiness. Spirit, can you clarify the Four of Pentacles, please? We have the High Priestess and the Magician. I almost feel like you've been sitting on some sort of idea, some sort of like intuitive hunch or intuitive nudge, something that you want to create here, okay? Some sort of like divinely guided idea that you've just been literally sitting on and you haven't taken the steps that you need to take to bring it into fruition. And so what's next is you're actually going to be taking those steps. You're actually going to be moving forward in the physical 3D reality. You're not going to let, like I said, the doubts and the negative self-talk keep holding you back from pursuing something that you want to pursue or creating something that you want to create here. Okay. Spirit, can you clarify the King of Cups? We have Death, the Four of Pentacles, and the Six of Swords again. Okay, Four of Pentacles and Six of Swords once again, and Death. So yeah, there's definitely a transition, a transformation happening here. And I think you're letting go of limitations. And I feel like this is more like self-imposed limitations. Like I said, the fear or the self-doubt or the negative self-talk. You're moving past that and you're moving towards a more emotionally mature place, where you're able to look at things more objectively and not so easily succumb to like the negative self-talk or the doubts and the fears. Yeah, it feels like you're definitely reaching a point of maturity here, or mastery, I should say, as it relates to your mental space, your emotional space. And it's just like you're prioritizing your happiness. Spirit, can you clarify the Star, please? We have the Ten of Swords. So yeah, definitely painful ending here that you're healing from, that you're letting go of. Okay, you may have gone through something that really made you doubt like your ability to have or create what you want in life. whether this is like a dream or a relationship or a family or something like that. It could be literally anything here, but I feel like something happened that made you doubt having this wish fulfillment come through. But you're moving past it, because tens are all about endings here. So I just feel like you're getting out of a painful cycle. Okay, you're moving past it, you're healing from it. I'm hearing you're recognizing your worth again for some of you here. But yeah, you're healing and you're finding more hope. You're finding your hope again to create the life that you want, to have the things that you desire, to have the stability that you want. Whether that's emotional stability or, you know, like physical, financial stability, or both, you know. Spirit, can you clarify temperance, please? We have the Ace of Swords. I feel like you're entering a time of balance and a time of peace that's going to give you immense mental clarity here. So like I said, if you've just been feeling a little bit foggy, a little bit unclear because you've been battling negative thoughts, or just more challenging thoughts, like you're healing, you're coming to a place of balance, to a place of peace, you're alchemizing those negative thoughts, okay? That mental fog is going to be cleared up so that you can move forward. Spirit, can you clarify the Three of Wands? Definitely feel like some of you here could be like going back to school, gaining some sort of certification here, or learning some sort of new skill. We have the the Knight of Wands, clarifying the Three of Wands. So you're taking passionate action towards something. For some of you, this could be something creative. Okay. Pursuing some sort of creative endeavor, or it's just something that you're really excited about, something you're really passionate about. It feels like something that you've been sitting on for a while. Like you've had this idea, but you haven't necessarily taken action on it yet, even though you really want to. Now you're reaching a place mentally where you're feeling more inspired and more capable, and you're having more belief in yourself to pursue this thing, okay? Spirit, can you clarify the Page of Swords? We have the Fool. So yeah, you're taking a leap of faith. You're taking a leap of faith. This is a new start, a fresh start, a new beginning for you. It might be a little bit scary. It might be a little bit scary. And maybe that's part of the reason why you haven't, you know, taken this plunge. But it's going to feel so good once you do. Ace of Wands at the back of the deck. So yeah, this is like that creative energy that I was picking up on. This new beginning, this spark. It's really exciting, whatever this thing is for you. It'll be a little bit different for all of you, but I think it's something that you've been thinking about or contemplating. And you're finally going to just, you know, bite the bullet here, and it's going to pay off for you. Let's dig a little bit deeper. What's next in life for my pile ones, please, Spirit? What's next in life? We have blossoming abundance. Beautiful energy here, blossoming abundance. You're going to see your efforts pay off. Maybe for some of you, maybe you've like have started taking action in some way, or like maybe you started taking baby steps, but then you started doubting yourself. And so like it's like you coming back to this thing for some of you, or you expanding on something that maybe you tried or you started. For others of you, maybe you haven't really taken the plunge yet. But either way, you're going to see your efforts pay off with blossoming abundance here. And like that's bringing me back to the King of Pentacles, right? Because this is a card of abundance. It's a card of having it all, you know, having that stability, something that you've worked really hard for, but you've reached this point where you're able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. And I feel like you're going to see your efforts start to pay off here with blossoming abundance. That's leading you to this King of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, we have action. And this is coming from you taking action on, you know, what you want to take action on. You taking inspired action. You pursuing your goals, pursuing your dreams. Okay? So if you needed, like, confirmation to take action on something that you've been contemplating. Take this as your sign, okay? You're going to see the fruits of your labor start to pay off here. Let's see, what else? For my pile ones, please, Spirit. What's next in life for my pile one viewers? Emotions are running high with the supermoon. So this card to me always just gives a sense of like when you've been holding back on something for so long that eventually you just can't hold on to it anymore, and you eventually have to just let it all out. It's like a culmination of emotions. So for some of you, like we do have the King of Cups here, 10 of Cups, the Lovers, you know, maybe for some of you this is like a love confession, right? Or this is, like I was saying, like you've been sitting on some sort of idea, some sort of creative project or creative idea that you've been wanting to pursue, or, you know, maybe you started to pursue it, but then you stopped. But it's like, it's something that I feel like have been wanting for so long, but you've been scared to do it or pursue it. And it's just getting to a point where you can no longer just sit back. It gets to a point where you have to take action, where you have to move forward. Bottom of the deck, work through your fears, new moon in Scorpio. So yeah, you're definitely working through your fears. You're getting past those fears, those limiting beliefs. And you're going to, like I said, you're going to see it pay off for sure with that blossoming abundance. It almost feels like this is the path that you're meant to take, and you will see that reflected in your 3D reality. But this is something that you've definitely, like, it means a lot to you. Whatever this is, it means a lot to you. It's important to you. You may be emotionally invested in this, or it's just something that really ignites something within you. Like I said, that creative spark or that creative passion. Okay, Spirit, what is next in life for my pile ones? We have the Maple Spirit with generosity. Generosity. Okay. Bottom of the deck, Eagle Spirit with freedom. This kind of makes me feel like, you know, once again, taking action, working through your fears, soaring, spreading your wings, right? Freeing yourself from negative self-talk, limiting beliefs, okay? That mental prison, releasing yourself from that. Generosity. I kind of want to read from the book for this one. Let's see. What you give out comes back to you tenfold. That's like the perfect first sentence. There are times in life to receive, and there are times to provide love, services, and items to others. This card suggests that this is a time to give with your whole heart. Give without thinking of what you will gain in return. By doing this, you enter into the flow of the universe, and blessings will shower upon you. Maples are thought to be a very old species of trees. They are known to withstand environmental changes and can survive and thrive in various climates. Some traditions believe that the maple lends strength and power to those around it. If you tap into the maple, you will find a sweet sap, which symbolically brings sweetness into your life. So it says, be open to receive the bounty of the universe. At the same time, be generous with others and with yourself. A warmth of spirit radiates from you. Share from your heart and receive with an open heart, and success will blossom. Yeah, blossoming abundance. Success will blossom. You will reach your King of Pentacles, the abundance, right? And it comes from you taking action, from you providing maybe some sort of service, right? This could mean a lot of different things depending on your situation, but this is about you giving from the heart. Okay, you doing something for others from the heart because you feel called to do it without attachment for the end outcome. Even though the end outcome I can see very clearly is abundance for you. You will see your efforts pay off, but you have to be the one to take that initial step, that initial action to provide something. So yeah, maybe you want to, open a business or something like that. Like I said, it'll be different for all of you, but it's something that you've been thinking about, you've been sitting on, and it's getting to a point where it's like, I just have to do it, And I feel like it's because whatever this is, it's divinely guided. It's something that was given to you from spirit, from the universe. Like it's part of your path in life. It's something that you're meant to do or meant to pursue here. Okay, and it's like, yeah, you will see your efforts pay off. but it's not necessarily about that, you know? Like, I feel like whatever this is, it's because you genuinely want to do it from the heart, okay? All right, we are going to grab our last few cards here. This will just be pieces of advice or any last information from Spirit. So Spirit, do you have any last pieces of advice or information for my pile ones to close out this reading? Oh, okay. That fell on the floor. All right, so we have the bear with strength. The bear symbolizes a strong source of support in times of difficulty and adversity. It may be time for you to stand for your beliefs or your truth. With strength and confidence, you are free to roam at will and follow your path. Okay. I also feel like this could just be referring to you like overcoming, you know, those fears, those negative beliefs, that mental prison, right? Any last pieces of advice? We have the hawk with spirituality. Fly above and beyond your day-to-day thoughts to observe them from a bird's eye view. Quieting the mind and detaching from your thought patterns puts you in a better position to take in messages from your spirit guides, okay? It's kind of like the eagle spirit here with freedom, okay? So eagles or hawks could be signs from the universe, okay? But yeah, once again, there's like this detachment from your mental space, the things that you have been thinking, all right? Those negative thoughts or those more challenging thoughts, seeing things from a higher perspective, all right? But also with the High Priestess, I feel like a lot of you are very intuitive, but you might doubt your intuitive nudges or, you might just doubt your intuition because of anxious thoughts. And so this is kind of just Spirit's advice to try and zoom out your perspective, maybe meditate, try to quiet your mind so you can really tune into your intuition and not let those anxious thoughts take over. One more card, please, Spirit. Advice or any last information for pile 1. Giraffe with reflection. If you are facing a difficult situation, do not rush into making a decision. You are advised to turn the problem around in all possible manners. Before deciding on a solution, your circumstances need to be examined carefully, okay? So this could be about you having some sort of a plan here, okay? Having some sort of a plan. Especially if this is like, you know, for example, you starting a business. It would probably be smart to have some sort of business plan before you know, I don't know, buy merchandise, right? You know, just make sure that you're dotting all your I's, crossing all your T's. Having some sort of plan here. All right, so pile number 1, I'm going to go ahead and leave this reading here for you. I want to thank you so much for being here with me today, for clicking on this video and watching it to the end. If you enjoyed the reading, please be sure to drop a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye! Hi Pile 2, welcome to your reading. So today we are going to be taking a look at what is happening next in life. So I am going to keep this pretty open-ended. We'll just see what comes through, what Spirit wants you to know about what to expect next in your life. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it. And also I just want to quickly mention that if you're interested, I am currently offering $5 personal readings via email. So if you're interested, the information for that will be in the description box down below. So let's go ahead and get into this for you, my pile number 2s. For my pile 2s, please Spirit, for my pile 2 viewers, what is next in life for my pile 2s? We have the 6 of Swords. What is next in life for my pile 2s? We have the Knight of Cups. What is next in life? We have the 9 of Swords. What is next in life for my pile 2s? We have the Queen of Cups. We have the Queen of Swords. What is next in life? We have the 5 of Cups. We have Strength. What is next in life for my pile 2, Spirit? What is next in life for my pile 2s? We have the Page of Swords. Okay. Very interesting and extremely similar to pile number 1. You literally have the Six of Swords and the Page of Swords in the exact same spots as pile 1. So if you felt called to pile 1, maybe check it out if you feel like it. Bottom of the deck, we do have the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So pile number 2. What is next in life for you is a transition here, okay? It's so freaky how similar this is to pile 1, but maybe this is just a collective energy here where I feel like a lot of people have been experiencing a lot of fear and a lot of anxiety. With the Nine of Swords, this is quite literally a card of, anxiety, sleepless nights, not being able to quiet your mind. And I feel like for most of you here, this has to do with some sort of past emotional disappointment here. For some of you, it could be, past relationships that have failed, or a specific relationship that didn't work out, or just something that you were emotionally invested in and were really hoping for a positive outcome with, not working out. That led to a lot of disappointment, which then led to a lot of fear within you about being able to, have a better outcome in the future. So what I feel like what's happening here is you are moving out of a place of, fear, anxiety, sleepless nights. You're getting over this past disappointment or past hurt. Almost kind of like putting your foot down with yourself, with your mental space, and being like, I'm not going to ruminate over this anymore. I'm not going to be, constantly in this state of disappointment, because it's preventing me from moving forward in my life, from experiencing the things that, I know that I'm meant to experience. I feel like you are just reaching this point of mental strength, and like I said, putting your foot down with those thoughts, with those, with the negative self-talk or the fear. The Queen of Swords to me always just makes me think of someone who is so like, just strong. And we do have strength here, just mentally strong. The Queen of Swords, she knows her worth. She doesn't let the negative thinking or the ego take control, okay? She's in full control here, and I feel like that's where you're headed here. The Six of Swords, is a card of transition. It's a card of moving on from a tumultuous time period, and I feel like for a lot of you, this is more of like a mental thing, but your mental space having this shift is what's actually going to enable you to move forward towards happiness, towards bliss, towards peacefulness. And for some of you, this could be with the Knight of Cups, helping you move forward in your love life, okay? Finding yourself maybe more emotionally available or open with the Queen of Cups being here, okay? So for some of you, you could have been closed off for a while, right? You could have been just fearful of opening up to a person, being vulnerable, right? But I think you're coming to this place of realization that, like, for one, you're deserving of love, but also, you have the mental strength and the capability to handle any future disappointments that may happen, because that is just a part of life. Nothing is perfect. We're all going to have disappointments in different ways and different circumstances and situations. But I think you're just coming to this place of realization that, like, it's okay to move forward. It's okay to open your heart. It's okay to be vulnerable. You don't have to let the fears dictate how you move forward in your life. And the Wheel of Fortune, this is a card of change, okay? This feels very divinely guided. Five of Wands underneath that. Maybe you've been resisting this change for a while, okay? But it feels like it's time. It's time for you to move forward. It's time for you to get out of this, like, mental funk. It's time for you to open your heart again. It's time to, it's just time to move forward, essentially. Okay, for some of you, this could even be like with the Page of Swords, like some sort of message. Maybe you need to reach out to someone, or you feel like you want to reach out to someone. Or maybe like getting to know new people, okay? Let's see. Actually, I'm shuffling the wrong deck. I want to dig a little bit deeper here and get some further information. All right, Spirit, can you please clarify the Six of Swords? We have the King of Wands. I feel like you're going to be stepping into a more confident version of yourself, a more self-assured version of yourself. You're going to feel more empowered, okay? You know, it could even be that some of you struggle with, like, you know, low self-esteem even. You might have thoughts that are very belittling, okay? And it could be because of, you know, things that people have said to you in the past, right? Certain experiences in the past, things that people may have said to you to hurt you, that you then took on as your own personal truth, when in reality it could have been people just projecting their own insecurities onto you. You know, most of the time that's what that is. You know, when people are just intentionally mean or, you know, bullying, it's like them projecting their own insecurities onto another person. But I feel like you're moving past that with the Six of Swords, and you're stepping into a more confident version of yourself. You're realizing your power, you're realizing your self-worth, okay? I see an improvement in your self-esteem, your self-concept, okay? Just feeling better about yourself overall. Spirit, can you clarify the Knight of Cups? We have the Queen of Swords again, okay? The Queen of Swords. I almost feel like you're going to be real with yourself about what you want. No longer hiding from your desires, like what your heart desires even, okay? I just feel this sense of like mental clarity and peace. And like not being afraid of what that clarity looks like for you. Because like, for example, if you are wanting love or a relationship, but maybe you've been too scared because you don't want to be hurt again, so you'd like sit in this place of fear and anxiety and think like, well, maybe just love isn't meant for me. Like if you've been sitting in that energy, you're coming out of that. And you're being honest with yourself that, you know, you do want love or you do want a relationship. And that these fears of being hurt again, or these fears that stem from past pain or past disappointment, aren't going to get you to where you actually want to be in life. So it's like you're being honest with yourself even. And not letting those fears dictate how you move forward. Spirit, can you please clarify the Nine of Swords? And obviously not all of you want a relationship. It can be different for all of you. I just feel like it's about what your heart is desiring, what's going to bring you emotional fulfillment. We have the High Priestess. You doubt your intuition. You doubt your intuition. And this is something that like Isotero always says, anxiety screams, intuition whispers. And I think it's really important for you to know that going forward, because I do think that maybe you have a tendency of letting the anxiety or the fears overpower your intuition. And I feel like moving forward, because you are going to be stepping into a more like confident version of yourself, and you're kind of putting your foot down when it comes to these anxieties, that's actually going to open the door or open the channel for you to connect more with your intuition. Feeling just more empowered in the fact that you are intuitive and you know what you want, and you know that you're deserving of what you want. however that may look for you, right? So you're connecting more with your intuition. You're learning how to do that. No longer letting the fear or the anxiety overpower that. Spirit, can you clarify the Queen of Cups? We have the Nine of Wands. I feel like a lot of you have felt very like beat down emotionally, okay? Because the Nine of Wands is the wounded warrior, okay? But this also speaks of resilience. And I think emotionally, you've definitely been through the ringer, right? You've definitely been through the ringer. You've definitely gone through some tough moments in life emotionally. But I feel like you're kind of realizing how strong you actually are to have gone through what you've gone through, but also still be willing and still wanting to eventually be open again or be vulnerable again emotionally, right? To still have your heart open, right? I think you've learned a lot from past situations, and I think you just want to move past it, right? And that's what's happening here. You're moving past the sadness, the disappointment, the heartbreak, and you're going to allow yourself to be emotionally vulnerable again, but not in a way where it's like you're putting yourself up to be hurt again. Definitely not that. I see that you're very strong, you're very resilient. I see you even setting boundaries, right? If maybe that's something you've struggled with in the past, you're gonna have your boundaries, right? But you're also going to be open and available for the right person or the right thing, depending on, what this is for you. I feel like for a lot of you, it is more like relationship based though. And it's because you know your self-worth. Or like that's where you're headed. That's what you're coming to. You're coming to a place of confidence, of empowerment, where you prioritize yourself, your own well-being, and you'll never let anyone run all over you again. You'll never let anyone push your boundaries again. Spirit, can you clarify the Queen of Swords? We have the Four of Swords. So this is about rest and reflection. Maybe you've been in a period of rest and reflection, doing a lot of inner work, a lot of healing. Okay? You're bringing yourself to a place of mental peace, mental clarity. Spirit, can you clarify the Five of Cups, please? We have the Nine of Cups. Yeah, wish fulfillment here. So after a disappointment, you are going to get your wish fulfillment. You are. You're going to get your wish fulfillment. Something hasn't worked. But with the Five of Cups, like this is a card of not all is lost, because when you look at the card, it's about perspective. It's about what you're focusing on. She's focusing on what hasn't worked. She's focusing on the cups that have spilled, right? When there are two perfectly good cups right behind her. All she has to do is turn around and look at those two cups. So it's like, it's all about perspective. If you continue to focus on what hasn't worked, you're just going to keep spiraling. You're going to keep yourself in a negative state of mind. But if you turn around and look at what could still be, that's when the shift occurs. That's when you get your wish fulfillment. That's when you get, the relationship or whatever it is that you're wanting, whatever it is that you're desiring, right? And I feel like that's what's happening here. Spirit, can you clarify strength? We have the Page of Swords. So double Page of Swords, double Queen of Swords. Strength. I feel like you're going to just feel more empowered, especially in the way that you communicate with others, Once again, like this message of boundaries coming up. You're not going to let anyone walk all over you. Let's see, Spirit, can you clarify the Page of Swords? The Fool, taking a leap of faith. Maybe you want to learn something new for some of you here. Similar message to pile 1, because the pages, or like especially the Page of Swords, always makes me think of like learning something new. The Fool is a leap of faith. So there is something about like newness or new perspective, taking some leap of faith here, trying something new, learning something new. Okay. This could even be like, say you want to get back out there and start dating again. This could just be you approaching relationships in a new way, in a fresh way, in a more empowered way, right? Because you've learned from past mistakes, from past situations, right? It could just be a fresh mindset where you are feeling more empowered because of all of the things that you have learned. Bottom of the deck, we do have the Queen of Wands. So we have counterparts here. But once again, that message of you feeling more confident in yourself, more empowered, right? Realizing your self-worth. Not letting the past pain and disappointment dictate how you feel about yourself, how you view yourself. Because that past pain or that past disappointment was just a blip in your story. It doesn't dictate who you are as a person and what you're deserving of, right? Let's see. What is next in life for my pile number 2, Spirit? What is next in life? We have financial constraints, okay? Financial constraints. Bottom of the deck, we have hostilities. So this might be like a literal thing. Maybe this is, Spirit's way of like urging you to not spend money frivolously, okay? Which, especially if you're living in the US, with the way the economy is, yeah, no one's really trying to spend frivolously right now. So just like watch your money, okay? Make sure that you're, not splurging on unnecessary things. I feel like hostilities. Let's see. I almost feel like Spirit is saying you might be tempted with something. Like you might be tempted to splurge on something, or like you might feel like something's on sale or like it's a really good deal. But Spirit is saying like, do you really need it though? Like just because something's on sale or something is quote unquote a good deal doesn't necessarily mean that you need to spend your money on it at this very moment, right? So with the hostilities card, it might be a need for you to kind of put your foot down with yourself and just make sure that you're prioritizing, the things that you spend your money on at the moment. All right, what is next in life for my pile number 2s? What is next in life? Step out of your comfort zone with the North Node. Okay, so the North Node is all about like, kind of like what we are meant to, master in this lifetime, okay? Quite literally stepping out of your comfort zone is something that you're not used to doing or you're not comfortable with. So what's next in life is you stepping out of your comfort zone. And for a lot of you, that looks like stepping out of that negative mind space, stepping into a more empowered, confident version of yourself, right? It might even be with the financial constraints that maybe you're wanting to, upgrade your wardrobe, right? Maybe you want to change your style. Maybe you want to buy new skincare, like all these different things, which is perfectly fine. But I feel like Spirit is urging you to like not splurge, okay? Make sure that, maybe go thrifting if you can. Obviously not for skincare products, but you know what I mean. Or just be smart about how you spend your money if you are wanting to upgrade your look or your wardrobe or what have you. But I definitely feel like, you know, what's next for you is you stepping out of your comfort zone, you stepping into like a new version of yourself, right? That's what I've been feeling this whole time. Like you're stepping into your confidence. And maybe that's new for you. Maybe you've never felt confident in yourself before. Maybe you've never had high self-esteem, right? Maybe you've never really loved yourself the way that you should. And so that is a very big step for you, pile 2. Bottom of the deck, emotions are running high with the supermoon. Okay. I feel like that has a lot to do with you releasing the past, releasing those negative experiences, healing from those experiences. But also like the supermoon, this is just like a card of like things get to a point or things come to a head where like it just explodes, right? Where you can't hold back anymore. And I feel like that's kind of where you're coming to. The Wheel of Fortune, I was saying something about timing, like it's time for you to get out of that headspace. It's time for you to step into your confidence. It's time for you to be who you're truly meant to be, right? It's time for you to recognize your self-worth. And it's time to recognize your own resiliency, your mental strength. Spirit, what is next in life for my pile 2s? We have the Forest Temple with enlightenment. Yeah, this is all about your mental space. I feel like this is also kind of like a spiritual upgrade. Like the next journey, the next part of your spiritual development or enlightenment, literally. The number 19 reduces to 10. Okay, so 10's completions, to have a new beginning. I just feel like you're going to know who you are moving forward. Like you're going to know who you are and you're going to be so confident in that. Bottom of the deck, we have the Bluebird Spirit with happiness. Yeah, you're going to feel more happy. You're going to feel more just empowered is the best word that I can really use. It's you feel empowered. You feel, or you're going to feel empowered or self-assured. It's like you're no longer looking for external validation either. You're realizing that your happiness lies within you. And no one can take that away from you. That's part of the boundaries that I feel like you're going to be establishing with other people, but also with yourself, and the anxiety, the negative self-talk, right? Establishing boundaries with your ego. Okay. I kind of want to read the book before I do this last deck. I did it for the last group, so maybe I'll do it for all the groups. Meditate on the light within you and around you. Connect with the ever-present energy of the divine. Right now, your awareness is increasing. Your ability to understand the world is shifting. More and more, you can see situations from all points of view, and this creates an expansion in all parts of your life. This card can also reflect times when you are seeing the world from only your personal point of consciousness, which is dramatically restricting possibilities for you. A one-sided, adamant view of life can block a vast influx of light, joy, and connection to the Creator. Strict adherence to your beliefs can obstruct wonderful opportunities from flooding your life. Be willing to step outside your limited points of view and see the world from others' perspectives, and your life will expand. So, yeah, your connection with spirit is deepening. We did have that High Priestess. All right, old beliefs about who you are and what you deserve in life are falling away, replaced by incredible new paths. Yeah. That is, yeah. You're letting go of the old and you're stepping into the new. Your relationship with the divine is improving. Your relationship with your intuition is improving. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and get our last pieces of advice or tidbits of information from Spirit to close off your reading. So Spirit, any last pieces of advice or information for my pile 2s to close off this reading? We have the Hawk with spirituality. Fly above and beyond your day-to-day thoughts to observe them from a bird's eye view. Quieting the mind and detaching from your thought patterns puts you in a better position to take in messages from your spirit guides. So that's another confirmation what I was saying about the High Priestess here, and even the Enlightenment card, okay? Detaching from the anxiety so that you can hear your intuition better. Any last information or advice from our pile twos? We have the Crow with transition. Which part of your life is or may be going through a transition? Maybe you're changing relationships, careers, or cities. Whatever it is, the Crow is signaling that you are ready to make the change. Yeah, you are ready to make the change. And I feel like for a lot of you, this even, you know, like I said, has to do with your own self-concept, the way that you view yourself, which then affects how you show up in the world. It affects everything. The relationship that you have with yourself quite literally reflects in your 3D reality, and it affects everything because it affects how you show up in the world. It affects how you interact with the world, right? So if you go through this internal transition here where you're stepping into more of an empowered version of yourself or a more confident version of yourself, that is going to be reflected back to you in the 3D because you're going to be interacting with your life in a different way. Okay, beautiful. One more card, please. One more card for my pile twos. We have the Peacock with self-love. Yes, you will find great power in focusing on the positive aspects of yourself, that which makes you indefinably unique and beautiful. There are deep wells of untapped inner power in letting go of negative self-talk. Couldn't have said it better myself. So yeah, wonderful confirmation here in these cards for you, my pile number twos. I am going to go ahead and leave this reading here for you. I want to thank you so much for being here, for clicking on this video and watching it to the end. If you enjoyed the reading, please be sure to drop a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye! Hi Pile 3, welcome to your reading. So today we are going to be taking a look at what is next in life for you, what's getting ready to transpire. I am leaving this reading pretty open-ended, so we'll just see what comes through. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this. And also I very quickly want to mention that if you're interested, I am currently offering $5 personal readings via email. So if you are interested, the information for that is in the description box down below. So let's go ahead and get into this for you, my pile number threes. For my pile threes, please Spirit, for my pile 3 viewers, what is next in life for my pile threes? We have the 8 of Cups. What is next in life? We have the 2 of Cups. What is next in life for my pile threes? What is next in life for my pile 3 viewers? We have the Fool. What is next in life for my pile 3 viewers, Spirit? We have Justice. Okay. I kind of feel like already with the 8 of Cups and the 2 of Cups, this feels like you walking away from some sort of relationship or some sort of commitment. Okay. And it doesn't have to be like a romantic thing. It could be, you know, a friend or a family member. It feels like you kind of distancing yourself from another person, or like I said, some sort of commitment here. There's a sense of like freeing yourself from something that wasn't emotionally fulfilling you in the way that it once did or the way that you would have hoped. But let's get some more info here. What's next in life for my pile threes? We have the Queen of Pentacles. What's next in life? We have the Page of Cups. The Page of Pentacles, And the Five of Pentacles, bottom of the deck, is the King of Cups. Okay. So yeah, this definitely gives me the feeling of like walking away from a relationship, a connection, some sort of commitment here. Because it wasn't serving you, or it's not serving you. Some of you may have already walked away from this person or this connection or the situation here. And if that is the case, then this feels more so like you reaching a place of closure, or you like officially emotionally detaching from this connection, from this person or this situation. This feels like freedom with the Fool. Freedom from attachment. Or literally freedom from another person. And with that, I see you focusing more on yourself, focusing on your hobbies, focusing on your goals, focusing on creating a comfortable, fulfilling life for yourself. And it might even be like, maybe you have had a breakup with someone or separation from someone, and maybe you're still like emotionally attached to this person. Even if you're not, or you're like you haven't been with this person, maybe you're still emotionally attached, and what's happening next is you detaching so that you can focus on yourself, you can focus on your own life, your own well-being, your own happiness. And like you'll be able to kind of look at things from a more emotionally mature perspective, from a detached perspective, right? Let's dig a little bit deeper into this. But it definitely feels like you're just walking away from what's not serving you and focusing more on your abundance. So like your career or your hobbies. You might be starting something new, okay? Picking up a new hobby. Changing career paths. Just doing what feels good for you. Focusing on yourself. And not focusing on another person or what could have been or what you lost. It feels like freedom from a situation that you've been holding on to or that you've been in. Let's see. Spirit, can you clarify the Eight of Cups, please? We have the Two of Pentacles. So the Two of Pentacles can represent going back and forth, right? Going back and forth, hot and cold. So, maybe this is a situation where you and another person have been, on and off, or hot and cold. So this is like you committing to walking away from that energy, from that back and forth energy. It's like you choosing yourself, right? Realizing that, the back and forth isn't a healthy dynamic. So you're choosing to walk away from it. You're choosing your own happiness. Okay. Can you clarify the Two of Cups, please? We have the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups can be a fantasy. Okay. It's a card of like looking at all of the options that are available to you. So I'm almost wondering if it's like maybe you were just hoping for a different outcome with this person, right? Bottom of the deck, we have the Three of Swords. So maybe you were just like holding out for things to change with this person. Maybe you were holding on to a fantasy of what could have been with this person. Okay, but like you're coming to terms with the fact that maybe things just are not meant to be the way that you would have hoped. And so you're detaching and you're choosing yourself. You're choosing freedom from this mental turmoil or this emotional turmoil even. It could even be that, like I said, you could be walking away from a relationship and choosing to look at other options because this wasn't fulfilling you. Spirit, can you clarify the Fool? Or maybe this person hurt you for some of you here. Clarify the Fool. The Seven of Swords. So the Seven of Swords is about deception. About hiding, being sneaky, being strategic, right? So maybe for some of you, this person was lying to you. Okay, this person was being deceptive in some way. Or this could even you being deceptive to yourself. By like telling yourself that, you know, things will get better or this person will change. Holding out hope for this person, even when they're not showing up in the way that you know that you deserve. But you keep like looking at things with rose-colored glasses. So I see you freeing yourself from that mindset if that is the case. Or if this person was being deceptive or lying to you in some way, I see you freeing yourself from that situation. Seeing things with clear eyes and a clear mind and choosing yourself. Can you clarify justice, please, Spirit? We have the Five of Cups. So yeah, there has been some sort of disappointment here, some sort of loss. I think that this is something that has definitely taken a toll on you emotionally. But what's happening next is justice, okay? Justice meaning you choosing yourself, choosing to detach from this person, the situation, choosing your own happiness, focusing on your own life, the things that you want to do, your goals, your aspirations, right? And maybe like if this person has hurt you in some way, right? Maybe they're going to get their karma, you know? And I don't like necessarily condone like doing something intentionally to hurt someone else back. But like in terms of like universal karma, but anyways, it just feels like things are going to be made right for you. Okay? Things are going to be made right for you in the sense that you're going to detach from this. It's not going to have the hold on you that it once did, or this person won't have a hold on you the way they once did. You're no longer going to like make excuses for this person, you know, especially if they have hurt you in some way. Right? Spirit, can you clarify the Queen of Pentacles, please? We have the Tower. Rebuilding. You're going to be rebuilding here. Something has ended or is going to end. And I don't mean to say that like in like a fear-mongering way. I feel like this is you making the conscious choice to end something with a person. But it might require you to rebuild, you know, rebuild maybe even like physically your life. Like if you were living with this person, or if this is a marriage, even with justice being here, this could be a divorce happening, right? But if it's a situation where you really were like living with this person, you had assets with this person, you know, that requires a significant change. And so I see you with the Queen of Pentacles being able to rebuild your life in the way that serves you, feeling really content with the life that you're able to provide yourself, and just enjoying the fruits of your labor, essentially, enjoying your life, no longer worried about, you know, what another person is doing. Are they being truthful? Are they being deceitful? Like, no longer being in that headspace where you're worrying about another person's actions and how they'll affect you. You're just going to be in your own energy, enjoying your life, working for yourself, moving towards your goals and your aspirations, choosing yourself, essentially. Can you clarify the Page of Cups, please? We have the Nine of Swords and the Five of Pentacles. You could be, for those of you that are like my creatives, you might be using this experience, this pain, this disappointment as like a fuel for your creativity. You might be taking inspiration from your pain or your sadness and turning it into art. Or just using it to fuel your passions as you move forward in life. Okay? I do feel like this has been a very stressful situation, a painful situation. Maybe this person abandoned you in some way, didn't show up for you in the way that maybe they said they were going to. Okay, because the Five of Pentacles being here twice, this does represent like a sense of abandonment, feeling alone, feeling left out in the cold, right? The Nine of Swords is a card of anxiety, sleepless nights. So the weight that this relationship has had on you is being cleared. But you also might be using it to like I said, for those of you that are creative, might be using it to fuel your creativity, using it to inspire your art or whatever it is that you're creating or doing here. Also, Page of Cups, I want to mention, can represent an apology. So, you know, maybe for a select few of you, maybe this person will come in with an apology, and that could be a sense of closure for you. That's not for everyone here, but I just get the sense that you're just detaching from it. You're moving on from it. You're letting it go, letting this person go. Spirit, can you clarify the Page of Pentacles, please? We have the Five of Wands. Yeah, I feel like you don't want to put up a fight anymore. You just want to go on a new path. Like I feel like you're realizing it's not worth it. The back and forth, the hot and cold, the hoping and wishing that things would be different or this person would change or this person would come back, even for some of you where maybe this person left you or abandoned you. I just feel like you don't want to fight anymore. You just want to go down a new path. You just want a fresh start for yourself with the Fool. And I feel like that's what you're doing. That's where you're headed. Down a new path. Spirit, can you clarify the Five of Pentacles, please? The Hanged Man. So this is about a shift in perspective here. So you're going to be looking at this situation with fresh eyes. We do have the Hermit at the bottom of the deck. So you're doing some internal work, some reflection, looking at the situation from a different perspective so that it no longer has the hold on you that it does. So that you're able to move forward to better your life, to better your circumstances, right? And that's where like that King of Cups is coming in. I feel like that emotional maturity, mastering your emotions, your internal world, right? No longer letting it have this negative effect on you. I almost feel like, you know, if this is someone that left you, for example, or broke up with you or abandoned you in some way, like you might have felt really sad and really beat down about it. Especially like if you really did care for this person, right? And you've invested a lot in this person emotionally. I feel like through the process of reflection, and introspection and healing, I feel like you're going to almost kind of shift your perspective as like looking at it as like, I'm kind of glad that this happened because it protected me from, you know, potential future disappointments or pain that could have happened if this person had stayed. I almost get the sense of like you looking back at this situation and like the way things happened with a sense of gratitude, not because you got like hurt, like obviously that's Obviously, you're never going to like feel grateful for being hurt in the process, but because of the fact that it may have prevented future disappointments or upheaval or sadness. Okay, depending on what your situation is, of course, because everyone's situation is different. But that was kind of coming through, like you're kind of glad that it ended what it did, so that you couldn't be hurt further, you know, and so that you could get back onto your own 2 feet a lot faster. Essentially being glad that you didn't waste more time on this person than if they had, you know, stayed, or if you had stayed. Okay. Spirit, what is next in life for my pile number 3s? Yeah, we have the broken heart. So, healing. Some of you, like, maybe this separation hasn't happened yet, so maybe that's what you're, you know, planning on doing or you've been thinking about, right? So there is like a healing process or a healing phase here, letting something go, mending your broken heart, right? Bottom of the deck, we do have indecision. So, you know, that's that back and forth with the 2 of Pentacles. Some of you have been contemplating about whether or not to leave. You've been going back and forth about whether you should leave or whether you should detach if this is a situation that has already ended. You know, just letting go. Whether or not you should let go of this person, the situation. I feel like you're going to be detaching here and healing. Spirit, what is next in life for my pile number 3s? What is next in life for my pile 3 viewers? What is next in life? We have don't let pride get in your way, full moon in Leo. Don't let pride get in your way. For some of you, maybe you've just been holding on to this because you don't want to appear like a failure. Like having a failed relationship might be like a big hit to your ego. Makes you feel like a failure in some way. And so this is Spirit's advice to not let the ego, don't let your pride get in the way of you choosing what you know is best for yourself. If you're in a relationship or in a situation that you know isn't good for you, you have to be able to make that choice to walk away for yourself. And it's not about, you know, what other people may think or how other people may perceive you. This is about you. It's about your life. It's about your happiness. Okay? See, bottom of the deck, we have show the world the real you, full moon in Aquarius. It could even be like maybe you've just been in a situation and it's like you're trying to play it cool, especially around other people, when in reality it's not. Or maybe, you know, maybe the situation has already ended, but you're still carrying the weight emotionally, but maybe you don't want to tell anybody. You know, maybe you try and play it cool and act like everything's okay. And I feel like Spirit is encouraging you, like if you do have a support system, to lean on them. Don't be afraid to show that side of you. It's a very normal part of life and of being a human being. Having emotions is part of being a human. And if you do have that support system, lean on them, right? Obviously not everyone has that, but if you do, lean on them. Don't be afraid to, you know, express how you truly feel about the situation, to say that you're sad, to say that your heart is broken. Don't be afraid of like looking like quote unquote a failure, because you're not. Sometimes things just don't work out. And honestly, I think that choosing yourself is the biggest win of all time. Because who's going to choose you if you don't choose you? You know what I mean? Not literally, but like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to be willing to put yourself first. And that will always be one of the biggest or greatest wins in life. Alright, Pile 3, so sorry, but my microphone decided to cut out at this point in the reading, so I'm just going to do a little voiceover. So we have the transformation card with Butterfly Spirit. So essentially, I was just saying that what's next in life for you is a very pivotal transformation. This is about your healing. This is about you letting go of the past, letting go of the hurt, so that you can emerge as this beautiful butterfly. I guess I was saying something here about the full moon in Leo card. I don't remember what exactly, but essentially this is once again just reiterating the fact that you are going to emerge as a new version of yourself. And then we have the Ancient Oak Spirit with strength at the bottom of the deck. So you're definitely realizing your own inner strength, your own inner power through this process of healing the situation, the way that it has impacted you or affected you. You're coming out of the other side of this experience as a more like self-assured, stronger version of yourself. I think that this is a situation that has helped you learn a lot about yourself and your own inner strength and your own resilience. And so like what's next is you going through that process of transformation, that process of healing, so that you're stepping into like this new version of yourself, this version of yourself that knows your worth, that knows your strength, that isn't afraid to set boundaries. And yeah, it's just a beautiful thing. So next, I'm just going to pull a few cards here. This will be last little bits of information from Spirit or advice from Spirit for your journey moving forward. And I'm sorry if it's awkward because you can't hear the shuffling. All right, so we had the panda with boundaries. Your space is sacred. Guests who overstay their welcome impact your aura and you have every right to stand your ground. Your needs are important. You must nurture your soul with the same gentle love and support you offer to others. Sorry, I could barely read on my screen, but yeah, once again, like I was saying about, boundaries, setting boundaries with other people, with the situation, whether this is like literal physical boundaries that you need to set with this person, or if it's more of like emotional or energetic boundaries that you need to set with this person or this situation. Essentially, it's like you shutting out what doesn't serve you, what has had a negative impact on you. It's you, once again, just choosing yourself and not being afraid to do so, knowing that you deserve the same love and compassion that you extend to others. Then we have Dragonfly with adaptability. The dragonfly is a symbol of light and change. It is reminding you to bring... Oh, I put it away because I was talking about something else. I don't remember what I was talking about. Sorry, guys. It is reminding you to bring a bit more lightness and joy into your life in order to bring about the changes needed to reach your full potential. Appreciate things lightly. Is that what it says? I can't tell. It's so tiny on my screen. I'm so sorry. Approach things lightly is what it says. All right. So yeah, with this card, I was getting the message that maybe you just need to, do things that are like a little bit more carefree, something that, really fuels your inner child, even with that Page of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. I was kind of getting the feeling of you, maybe exploring new things, trying new things, new creative endeavors, just doing things that feel light, I think will really help in your healing journey. And I feel like that's the advice coming through from Spirit. So we have one more card here. One more piece of advice or information from Spirit to close out your reading. Once again, sorry for the awkwardness because you can't hear the shuffling. So we have Buffalo with abundance. Abundance and liberation are finally on the way. It comes to you now to remind you of the amazing manifesting power of gratitude. You will always have plenty when you express gratitude to every part of creation. So yeah, I think that this card is like a beautiful way to wrap up your reading, because I know that the messages in this reading are a little bit heavier, but essentially Spirit wants you to know that everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to work out exactly as it's meant to, even though it might not feel like it in the moment. Trust, have faith in not only the universe, but in yourself. Know that you have the strength to get past this hardship, and you have what it takes to rebuild. If you have to. With that Queen of Pentacles, I was saying, you know, this feels like an energy of you just kind of enjoying your life. It's a card of abundance, of, you know, nurturing the things that you have and the things that bring you joy. So like, rest assured, you are going to get everything that is due to you. With that Justice card, even, like, this is about you getting your justice, right? So everything that is due to you, all of your hard work and effort is absolutely going to pay off. It is coming. Your abundance is coming. Essentially, like I said, Spirit just wants you to know that everything is going to be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this reading here for you, my pile number 3s. I want to thank you so much for being here, for clicking on this video and watching it to the end. If you enjoyed the reading, please be sure to drop a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!